Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Monday Star Citizen Q&A. This is the Argo Raft. It's my brother gets out of the turret and it spazzes out. It points straight up and starts. Clearly, that's a bug. When he gets on it, it's fine. When he gets off the controls, it just goes nuts. He's saying hello to the planet in his favorite way. Say hello to those rocks.
I'm getting 0 damage numbers.
Yeah, well.
It says 0.
So anyway, the ship has a little bit of glitches on the elevator too. When you try to step on the elevator for the first time, it tends to knock you back. It's really weird. It's just like getting punched in the face by an elevator. But other than that, I mean, I switched out my my Talon Shrike. I had both Talons, but I didn't see the need for both Talons. But this ship looks like it's potentially built for is basically picking up and depositing cargo the way it's built in areas with higher gravitational fields, because of the way that you can orient the engines for VTOL. Several ships I have like that: the Terrapin, the Valkyrie, obviously Cutlass Black. And if you have a Connie, there's some ships that have these dedicated parts of the ship that are larger than the standard thrusters that are used for VTOL. And so when I looked at it, it seemed like in certain circumstances, it would be useful. And frankly, I didn't need to have two. Stop shooting, Tex. Anyway, so looking at the ground. So anyway, this of course is the Monday Star Citizen Q&A, and I'm out of crackers waiting on the queue. They had a small update today, and the queue took forever to actually get into the game. It was really something. So I want to cover a few things they talked about. This could be a kind of a shorter show. I'm going to try to keep it relatively brief, with under an hour, mostly because I have to go into work tonight. I had a schedule change, and I need to make sure that I can get there on time. So for starters, let me just go and give you a quick tour of the Argo Raft here. I actually do like the way the ship came out.
More ships with the letter R.
Yeah, more ships with the letter R. Star Citizen is lacking ships with the letter R in the name. So eventually you're gonna have to. Yeah, that's gonna be like an encyclopedia all to itself. It's just like the section of R is just gonna be like the thickest part by like a massive degree. And I don't know, Raft is a weird name to give it, honestly. Oh, see that? See what I'm about to see? The elevator just kind of like punches you. It's like weird. All right, so anyway, we'll start with the top deck because the top deck only does one thing and one thing only, and you actually fly from the lower deck. So might as well just bypass everything here. Roaring it in Ronsterlation. Yeah, might as well. Let's get it over with. A Wrangle carrier.
Yeah.
These buttons aren't physicalized yet, but these will open components. So this is your engineering room, and your component room. All this stuff obviously opens components behind it. Ladder, and this is where you have your control of your. This is where you're going to be operating your crane pickup and deposit of your cargo containers. Is back here, where you can oversee the whole thing. It's pretty nice. The bane of all existence. Will the elevator kill me? Let's find out. Yeah, there's a little problem there in the animation lineup. But new ship to run up little bugs and stuff. Places for your different types of EVA or spacesuits. Some reason a bathroom with a completely transparent door, so someone can just stand there and watch you poop. So that's a thing.
Oh no, it doesn't exist in Star System. There's no reason for toilets.
Not yet. And of course, this I think they did a really good job on. Yeah, I mean, if cargo loading is a consideration, a ship that will just pick up containers, like fully packed containers already, will actually be an efficient ship for missions, or making money. If cargo, like if you say we need to fill the crates and then we need to load the crates. I watch a female player taking a shower. That's true. Yeah, that's gonna work. If you need to, if they don't fast food the way cargo works, having something that just picks up a prepackaged thing could be a very efficient ship. But I think they did a really solid job on this particular, because the bed, the kitchen, and the dining room are all in the same area. What's good about that is that it's very condensed. It's very like it's not a lot of it's not what a lot of wasted space. There's not a separate room for each thing, and I like it. I really do. I think it's one of the better designed living areas. It's an all-in-one, and
Who makes this? Is this Drake?
Argo.
Argo made sense. Something that's
Well, I have
basic.
I have the Argo mole as well.
Oh, Argo. I forgot. Industry's most voted ship,
Yeah.
the Argo cargo for life.
All right. So this says pretty solid, and of course the airlock over here, the lift over there. The airlock is interesting. I'm not exactly sure how.
I feel like it was an afterthought.
Well, I don't know. If we get
Why in
if
the
there's
world?
an extending cable or extending like a corridor that comes out, yeah, I didn't need to climb the ladder to get in the cockpit. But obviously it's right here. Um, it's an interesting location, but obviously we're going to need some sort of extending connector to hook it up.
The door's cool the way it works.
Yeah,
It
the doors
twists
are
the
the
middle
doors are
knob.
nice, and
Is the light flickering for you right here?
a little bit. There's some graphical glitches still on the ship.
Okay,
It's
it's
really
showing
early
the
days,
shadows in the door on and off, on and off.
and so it's I know it's not a bad looking ship. Um, I mean, it's if you look at the construction of the ship, it's definitely tighter than a lot have been in the past. There's a lot less. I feel a lot less wasted space, and that kind of goes back what we're talking about today with all the ship updates. So we're going to start with. I know the seats look nice, don't they? Look at that. Those seats actually look reasonably comfortable.
I'm sorry, but I like this bridge because it reminds me of farm equipment.
Yeah, this is really nice. It's not bad.
This is what I hope the Vulture looks like.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. But okay, so obviously, as you see ships that have come up and have, if you look at a ship like this today, and you go back to, let's say, the Misk Freelancer, or anything like that, back from in their kind of older models, you can see the comparative difference in the quality, the little subtle details, even down here in the panels on the floor and things like that, the wiring. So this is why, of course, they're introducing new ships. They're going to go back eventually and do more reworks on older ships. So, but before we get into the Star Citizen Live, there's a little couple pieces of footage I want to go over.
The
And
detail here, I just
right,
noticed something on these on the fasteners holding these bars on.
mm-hmm.
I had to order these special
Oh, the bolts.
tools.
Ah,
The bolts are
yeah, yeah,
special.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're kind of like these star screws. I've seen them
It's
before.
not well. Not only that, do you see where there's actually a dot in the
In the
middle?
center, yeah, because that. Yeah, I've
You
seen it.
have to order the tool that'll let the dot slide into a hole
Mm-hmm.
in your tool to let it recess down far enough to unscrew.
Mm-hmm.
We had to use those kind in bathrooms
Ah.
so the students would not unscrew the hinges and do stuff to bathrooms partitions.
Tool only
This
only comes with LTI.
this is the only time I've seen these. That's why I walked up here and said, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Somebody in the graphics department put that in the
Hey, I just said
game?"
their art department. I have very little issues with. Their art department
They're
does a
I'm
solid
like
job. Even the
that.
cable.
They
Look at the cabling running overhead.
or no.
I mean, the wiring that's running. It's not just
Do you
it's.
see the straps that are holding the
Hmm.
computer parts up
Yeah,
here in the console?
it's well done. I mean, the little details.
It's like these are mini server things that are
Yeah,
supposed to be
you can just
grabbed and
follow.
pulled
You
out
can
and slid
basically.
in.
Yeah, it's really cool. But anyway,
Like,
let me swap over here. No exposed but accessible. No exposed but accessible for repairs. Right. Not
oh,
exposed but accessible for repair. All right. So
I
let
thought
me.
I like ships that are accessible for repair.
Yeah. All right. So obviously one of the first big ones that we had come out, which is the Carrot Killer,
Carrot killer, but our opinions
the
are our
Odyssey.
opinions.
But it's not a carrot killer. It just does the different things. But someone likes it more. Anyway, those are 3 size 5 turrets in the top. This ship will presents a larger hangar
Remote.
bay, more like along the lines of the Polaris, to carry a fighter, or maybe like 3 arrows if you want to do that. Ground vehicles as large as they currently come in the game, including probably the ballista from what people have found on the scale. And it refines its own in the lower area there. Mines and refines its own fuel for long distance excursions. Though its sensors are not as strong as the Kerak, it does not offer the modular capabilities of the Kerak because it doesn't have those swappable sections. It does have capital ship scale armor, shields, equipment. Generally speaking, it's a very tough ship. It's going to be very hard to take it down, and its Kerak's already very hard to take down, but this would be even tougher. Um, new Idris tier, ridiculously overpriced ships, the one to rule them all. But yeah, this they have a lot of models here. It's supposed to be a 6-man crew ship, but looking at the size of it, it it honestly, this thing looks bigger than the Defiant from Deep Space Nine. I don't see how this is just a 6-man craft. This looks significantly larger than that. Of course, so does the Carrack, to be honest with you. But it's one of those things like I could see 10, 15, 20 people in this. Like, look at the bridge. 6 people. This is a six-person craft. Now there's 6 chairs in the bridge. I mean, it does support the theory, but there would be nowhere else in the ship at the moment. So I don't know. It's an interesting bridge. It's
Very Star Trek.
Yeah, it is very Star Trekky. It is, and that's one thing. It kind of came to my mind the way they're sitting at those consoles. That's why I came up with the Defiant kind of connection, but. It has pilot-controlled missiles. Actually, the pilot-controlled weapons is good because the Carrack, once again, does not. And it's been one of those things that,
I like the turrets are all remote.
Yeah. Now that when they show the hangar, we have the looking down in there, and I get Starfarer vibes for just a little when you're looking at this hallway that runs around the outside of that area. But it's not obviously that kind of. But right here now, if you look down, I get this Starfarer vibe for a little bit. But obviously you can't have pathways where the ship's trying to take clear. But look at the size of that. If you can put a saber in there, and that's not even an efficiently parked saber, you could probably stick 3, maybe 4 arrows in here. If it sits, it fits. So you could kind of turn this thing into quite the carrier. People have done the measurements on this. They said a ballista will actually fit in here, which is currently the largest ground vehicle. So you should be able to fit whatever you want in this thing. And it looks like basically, from what I saw, since that there's a door between where the ship is and where the ground vehicle is, it's possible that you could probably bring another ship in and put it in the ground vehicle area, just fly it forward a little bit on the other side of that door, and just park it in there, and then basically you'll have even more ships. Turn this thing into a total mini carrier. It's it does have, but as I said, you really can't do a worse layout than a Starfarer. That's definitely a low, but that we'll get into that too, of course, obviously. So that's all stuff that's come up during the course of the week. This is the lower area where basically, I guess, one person mines and one person's tractor beams, because I guess having one person be able to switch buttons and then run one and the other. I don't know. Maybe one person's pulling rocks over. That's the concierge level skin. And of course, yeah, this thing, you could actually put a prospector in if you want to. You could have mining ship with your mining ship. It has medical facilities. It's a pretty sexy looking beast, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it, and it'd be a good addition to everyone's fleet, or at least if you're looking to, you want something a little bit heavier and more durable than the Carrack, which is already wickedly durable. Well, here you go. It's a carrier.
Talking about in the ad.
It's a space station.
It was a one-person space station.
Yeah, it's a mobile space station, basically. All right. Yeah, flying this in the rings of yellow. Yeah. Probably getting tacked by everybody because they want to see how tough it is. All right. So when we had some miscellaneous updates when it came to ships and stuff, it does seem to be a decent carrier. And in fact, they got to be using this to tech on this to set up the Polaris. I mean, there's so many similarities in that regards, some of the overlap. So I would imagine that there is going to be some references here that end up being pulled. All right. So let me go into the other one here. Miscellaneous ship updates. The Hull A is coming along. The Old Hull series, of course, has been delayed again. We've had the coal cargo refactor thing like that get pushed back again. We really need cargo. I mean, now that I can actually ship cargo without everything collapsing and crashing. I mean, if it does anyway, I don't lose the cargo. What I've discovered trying to get back in the cargo is that people don't sell enough to make it worth buying anything. and what they do sell isn't worth anything. So it's like, okay, I'm back to killing missions again. So whatever. But it looks like it's coming along. It looks pretty decent. There's of course the Hull C, and it's a Hull C interior. This I have a Hull D. The D is bigger than the C, obviously, but this thing, even the C looks massive. And I should be getting one of these as a loaner when it comes out. So I'll be doing a tour of that when the time comes. Looks like they're having remote cameras that are going to show feed to the outside. This is good. And of course, the Starfarer, which is going to be getting a connector port here to go ahead and have fuel or resources deposited to be refined. And of course, also the whole Starfarer is going to be getting a rework on the interior. Thank goodness. Of course, Vulture interior here. And it's another one of the ships in my fleet, and it's looking pretty good.
It's in my donation list.
It's in his, yeah. Donate one to Tyler. Okay, and of course the Scorpius. The Scorpius is coming, I believe, in 3.17 or maybe 3.18. I have to check. This is their X-wing basically, and with the wings folded back currently, but it's coming along. Doesn't look too bad so far. And of course, finally, the Banu Merchantman. There you go. That's a really white boxing shape of the outside to make scale. And then, of course, they did have some extra hidden footage after Jared talked. If you watched the rest of the show, he kind of made a comment about that. And then showing a little bit of an animation section on as well. That's a weird looking turret. He says it's not Ed 209. So yeah, it does look like Ed 209 though. And some of the early animation tests on the engineering room. Yeah, nervous thing about the salvage mechanics. Guns.
Do you know your ship?
Where is the Odyssey giveaway? I know. And of course, a little thing at the end there, a little Voltron thing. I just thought that was cute, so I thought I'd throw that on. Anyway, let's switch back over here.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. Anyway.
If you look at the floor and just don't move your camera, you start seeing little things moving around on the floor. Not if you're close to the floor. You have to be standing up. Because whenever I go down, they disappear. But it looks like little cockroaches or something.
Ew.
Look at this.
I don't know. I don't see it. Wait a second.
There's 3 or 4 of them by the railing moving around.
No, I think you're seeing dust.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's just dust.
It doesn't move when I turn my head.
Wait a minute.
Look at that.
Yeah, I think it is alone when you look down.
Yeah. I thought, what am I seeing?
Are there bugs in my ship?
There's bugs in the ship. I was down here looking at your cleaning supplies.
I got eight LTI roaches. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
LTI comes with cockroaches. Exactly.
I was down here looking at your cleaning supplies because, like, I used to carry this stuff in my warehouse. So I'll go here.
Goodness.
That's cool. And then I got up. Was like, what are these things moving on the floor?
Well, on the upside, look right behind you in the corner. In a case of emergency or someone makes too many stupid comments, you got bleach to drink right there.
Yeah.
It's right. It's available.
Bleach.
And yeah, so we're good.
We got ketchup and mustard and
ketchup, mustard, and bleach. Too. We're making some wild fries. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what they talked about on the Star Citizen Live.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there was quite a few things. I don't know how many you saw the Star Citizen Live, but also I want to talk about maybe as you want to chime in about what ships you'd like to see have reworked, what ships you feel are maybe have fallen behind the curve so far that they're not even in the same game anymore. Hornet. And so, for starters, they're doing the 600i rework.
A couple times too.
Space rats. Just give it time. The 600i is getting a complete internal rework, and of course they said it may change some of the outside aesthetics as well, depending upon how it comes out. But the thing is that the 600i has a terrible interior. I've said that I used to own the 600i Explorer variant, and I said from day one the interior was terribly laid out. Like, for example, the engineering section had to go through the recreational party gathering room on the left and the right in order to even, and there's no way to even get the parts in there without carrying it through. Like, if you had guests and you need to do maintenance, you'd be literally walking through the ballroom doing maintenance. It wasn't thought out well, and like the bartender gets to see the beautiful space view in the window, and the guests stare at the wall. Like, that's the opposite of how you would design a bar in a luxury ship. You would have the guests be able to see the view, and the bartender gets to look at the wall. The little thing, and also the fact that I commented on this all the time. The crew quarters. It was just a stupid room with a bunch of beds slatted into a wall, open with no privacy. Now they said that they're going to have individual rooms for all the crewmen, and there's going to be more features added to the ship to make it more in line with the Carrack, including a medical bay and stuff like that. So it's going to 600i is getting a massive fleshed out work done, which is fine. So I'm very happy for people who are going to be who have or own that ship, and because I said there's a lot of wasted space in that ship, and they could have done better, and they're going to. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Renat. So yeah, the whole thing was so disappointing that I gladly melted it once I got my hands on it. To the first thing, I can't even remember what I melted it to. Honestly, it's been such a long time, but um, I just wasn't happy with it. I just walked around that ship and said, "Wow, you can have like 5 times the cargo that you do in this thing currently." And it just it doesn't even make sense, the wasted space, the fact that the people were, I mean, behind the cockpit alone you could have put the sensor stations for scanning, and you didn't need to have a room floating over the middle section blocking off all the car. It was just tons of wasted space. It was badly designed. Like, this ship doesn't feel like it feels minimalistic in Star Citizen terms anyway, comparatively speaking. It feels minimalistic, and it feels like there's not a lot of wasted space, and yet inside it does retain a nice feel of size and scale to it. So I wonder if these things are going to animate, like actually just come down with a cable or something. I don't know how that's going to work. Um, Yeah, yeah. I don't know why we have inner thoughts on controls. And in fact, as I said, when I was showing the Ares off the other day, is that I don't mind the words floating over when I mouse over a button if the word tells me what the button is. But I don't want to have to click on the word. Only the button should be interactable. The word should tell me what it is if I want references. But basically, on the Ares in particular, it's so terrible that you can't use your MFDs because the words, the inner thought words, float over all your MFDs, and you have to like zoom all the way in and do what you can to get anything done, because you can only use like the MFD in the lower right effectively to set up certain things, and then you have to keep, because it's just everything else is obscured with other text. It's terrible. So yeah, they need to get rid of the whole inner thought thing. That's not a ship update. That's a UI update. All right, so they are going to go ahead, and they're still working on having the mining bags attach, kind of the same way you imagine that this ship right here, like the bags in the mole and the prospector, so that you can take them into a ship and unload them, break them down, and catch new ones. You can imagine that all that stuff's going to come online when you start dealing with it, attaching and detaching, like the cargo containers on this ship. Same kind of scenario. So they need to have the ability to have those things, and that's I think it all kind of comes along the idea of like with the retaliator, where basically you have different modules you can swap out. So the removing cargo and stuff like that, removing components off a ship and taking something else as a physicalized item, and having them when they reattach be part of that system again, is all part of that modularity. Let's see here. So I do UI. That's why you see the floating text inner thought is not going away. Um, yeah, I didn't say it was going away. I just said it should go away. It's one of the worst control setups I've ever seen, and it's the most obnoxious control setups. I mean, how many times you're trying to look at something, like you're trying to click on something, right? And what's your character doing with its head? Right? So the words are doing this on your screen. They're bobbing in time with they're moving. Your head. You're trying to click on something, and it's like playing chase the interaction. You're like trying to counter the movement. You're trying to counter the movement of your. It's sloppy. It's really painful to use. I really think Inner Thought is probably one of the worst systems that's ever been put in for control interface in any game ever. And I wish I hate being that critical, but I can't think of one honestly that I hate more. I really can't. I played a ton of games. I can't think of a single interaction I hate worse than Inner Thought. It's a new low in my gaming experience. Um, yeah, yeah, I can pick up a rock faster in real life. That's true. Yeah, some of the animations are like when you're mining and you're picking up a rock, and literally just bends over, picks up the rock, almost like looks at the rock, then puts the rock away. Um, Yeah, it's the words that I'm talking about. The floating words, clicking on the floating words, and that's part of inner thought currently. Is the whole idea? They showed that as part of, like, even in the Squadron 42, where you're dealing with the what is it? My ship compressing here. With the text bouncing, so with the text being used to in conversation trees. That's where the whole thing kind of started. Most times you see those kind of things where you click on words. It's in a conversation tree. It's, hey, do I want to be snarky? Do I want to respond, kindly? So on and so forth. And it's not something you use to interact with. It does it every time. It's not something you use to interact with complex systems. And that's like when I play DCS, I click on controls, and the controls, if it said having the words next to it for reference is fine, helps you remember what you're doing if you can't, or what you're looking for if you don't. Oh. Okay, not sure what he's doing here. All right, but yeah. Yeah, I like the buttons being active here. I do. But I want those words, I said right here. I want those just to be words. What button am I highlighting now? I'm highlighting this button. That's disable G-Safe, That's all I want. Like here, like right here, see that? It's one button with two things on it, and it's sloppy to use. I hate this. It's bad. Anyway, so let me go ahead and just lift off real quick here. I think so. Okay. I don't want to make sure I didn't abandon Tyler. That'd be bad.
I'm outside.
It's got a pretty strong. Yeah, you're outside.
No.
Okay, I thought there might be enough. Sometimes there's enough lag. That could have been true.
Yeah. I was outside earlier because it showed that you were 20 away, and I can't figure out which deck you were on.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's head back out to space here, gently, of course. All right, so
I'm laughing as I'm watching the water, because someone actually brought that up, and one of them just said,
yeah, the water's
can I have
doing weird
wipers
things. Yeah.
on my windscreens?
Yeah, it's like,
and
yeah.
the guy said Rain-X. It's like, no, that's not the problem. It's called
come on.
grunge.
Even Forza Motorsport's got wipers. Anyway, so of course we see here we have the Starfarer is going to continue on being a refining ship. Retaliator is getting the rework. Part of the rework entails, besides the modularity, which has caused a delay because they had to make sure the system works, the corridors are going to be widened. They have to be so the NPCs can actually utilize them, which is interesting because I've seen some of the newer ships that corridors seem significantly more narrow. I thought maybe they had smartened up their AI or something along those lines. I'm not sure. Maybe they haven't. Inner thought overlaps with MFD control should never happen ever. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You're dealing with layering like that, and it's just I'm not happy about it, and I'm
well, yesterday I got in the Aurora to go to the space station, and I went over to the MFD to click on the station to tell them I'm here, give me permission to land. And apparently the wonderful inner thought also decided, even though I'm clicking on the button zoomed in to talk to the station, it was close enough to the icon on the MFD to power off the ship.
Yeah.
This ship decided to power off and start falling.
Yep.
I was like,
I had
what?
that happen once too. I was taking off and I tried to interact, and it literally shut my ship off, and I was scrambling trying to get the power back on because my ship was just literally just falling back to the planet. And it's just like that's the kind of thing that all I'm trying to do is use one of my screens, and what do? I almost commit suicide. That's just not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Yeah, no, I get it. Their inner thought system, they've always referred to it as, at least what I've seen, and maybe I'm wrong, Fox, but they've always referred to it as this combination of the words and the interaction. Now, I get that you're drawing a distinction there, but the very fact that they design something with words that float over that you interact with, and that can have multiple layers, like I just showed, like here, the one button is doing two different things, and then after I highlight, I have to select within here, and then if my head's bobbing like this, I got to fight that as well. The very fact that was a design consideration as a good interface, it's just, that's what I'm talking about. That's just, I've never been happy with that. Let's see, there we go. Okay. But I get what you're saying. I do. I think we're just picking at nuance there. But you're right, I hope it does, become exactly like I talked about. What I have to deal with the words and or like that. Or if they use more, but I don't know. I just find that the words thing becomes a problem when it starts overlapping over something else. Like we see a lot of weird things. Like if you look at like the UI, right? Uh, we have lots of situations where one piece of UI overlaps another piece of UI, and you end up interacting with both at the same time because it doesn't recognize that one's in front of the other, or it puts one in front when you're trying to use the one in the back, and it's just and so you're struggling. Like for example, I'm a character. I'm holding a can of soda, right? And I'm trying to tell the character to drop the soda, and then basically what happens is that I grab a grenade because I have a grenade on my chest where I can't get to the soda because I get interaction with the grenade, but I don't want to interact with the grenade. So you kind of see what I'm saying? It's like it gets to be like really messy, really really messy, and I just hope that they can clean it up because I want to throw my can of soda in the garbage, not pull the pin and throw the grenade in the garbage. As fun as that would be. Um, yeah, yeah. Sometimes sometimes it can get pretty bad. Right? Yeah. Some FD controls don't work at all. Yeah. It said the Ares was particularly bad because when you're flying in space. And you're moving, and you go and try to change your MFDs, you can actually, it'll actually, if you're not careful, and I mean, we're careful, if you try to use the upper MFDs, you can actually end up EVAing out of your ship. It's like you're clicking on EVA, like the cockpit will open, you'll climb out of the ship, and the ship's in motion, and all you try to do is change the screen. That's not good. Could you get on that top turret? It looks so spazzy.
Okay.
I just can't stand looking at that thing spazzing out. My ship is dipping down a little bit. There you go. That looks better. Thank you.
There's so many
Looks like
ships
headbanging.
that I get into where you go to do a command on MFD and all of them light up at once. It's like I'm trying to highlight one. Why are they all lighting up?
Yeah.
And it's like they're gonna want you to hotkey everything anyway.
Yeah, I don't mind hotkeys, but I mean, you shouldn't be forced to. I like interacting with buttons as a DCS player. I like that option. All right, so
I kind of miss some of their older designs where they actually had toggle switches and they were spaced far apart. I thought, oh, they could easily put something on there where you could key over a larger switch. And now they're making them so small and so close together that when you try to highlight the one switch, you're highlighting a whole panel.
Well, Fox, I completely know what you're talking about, zooming in like this. But even on the Ares, it's so bad, this doesn't work. You still click the words. The only one that works on the Ares is the lower right one. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and like literally you have to zoom all the way in on the lower right one, go to the menu, change it, and then be careful. And you could literally everything else is going to activate an MFD. And activate one of those inner thought things. It's so terrible because you have to go all the way. You zoom all the way in, and you can barely get anything done. It's very bad in the Ares. That's probably the most egregious I've seen in the Ares. All right. So anyway, of course modularity is still in the works, as I mentioned. Physicalized damage. They're talking about how instead of having hit points to go to 0 and a part falls off, as something takes damage, it gets weaker and weaker, and then it's based on the properties of the item, and then eventually when it gets weak enough to break off the joint, it does it that way. So it may not have to hit 0 to break off. It may just have to hit a certain structural quality. And of course, they're looking at including deformation. Still is in the works. I guess they said they have some internal things where they've actually played with deformation. So we should see bending, shearing, things like that. But it should be really good for crashes, if you crash your ship into the ground. My question about that kind of stuff is how's that going to affect the interior? Is this going to be an exterior thing, or is that going to cause the inside to get warped up? If it does, man, that's going to be a heck of a thing. I mean, you imagine if a ship gets its whole frame twisted, it's pretty much just, there's no fixing it, right? I mean, it's just trashed. You have to get another ship. Yeah, the Odyssey Q&A on Wednesday. Buffer panel ripoff. Yeah, you want to see your buffer panel ripoff? Exactly. Did we just use a primary buffer panel on my Goran ship? Attention, attention, everyone. We may experience some slight turbulence and then explode.
Explode.
Oh my god, we're all gonna die. Exactly.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, physics of warping, and how would that affect? Like if you have the SDF fields for setting aerodynamics. Nah, we won't see any bugs to that at all. It'll come out. Everything will come out smooth, very smooth. You know it.
I am a leaf on the wind. Watch
Yeah,
how I soar.
that's gonna be like us actually when we get into the ship just normally. All right, so then they had the big thing, of course, that came across, which was about the ship updates, was the fact that hex codes for painting ships, which actually got someone banned off the forums for I don't know how long, but they got kicked off because they asked a simple question. Because CIG brought it up a long time ago about the fact that they wanted to give us the ability to set our own colors, but somehow I think that what happened here, and I'll be frank about it, and maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Because of the fact that their actions in the forum, kicking some guy that brought something up that I guess was a fairly well-known YouTuber, and I don't really know him, but they kicked him off for bringing up something that they said they were going to do. It caused such a controversy that now they're forced to do it again. That's my personal opinion. I think they were trying to archive it. They were trying to go ahead and let it fall into the memory hole.
They moved his post.
He got banned twice for it. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
And so like
his post.
Yeah, it's like, so I think they were trying to let that particular thing go down the memory hole, and when he brought it back up, they just tried to nuke it from orbit. And then what they ended up doing, have these people ever heard? Let's see, there's a certain effect that what's the term I'm looking for? That one, darn it,
Open development.
What? No. There was that one actress or singer or something like that had a house, and basically she was upset the news was talking about the Barbra Streisand effect. I think that's what it is. Basically like the more you try to hide something, the more popular, the more well known it becomes. And basically they by basically trying to bury it, they created a situation which drew attention to it. Yeah, Streisand effect, right? Okay, I thought that's what it was. And so by doing that, then they were kind of like, well, I guess now we have to do it. And so good. I mean, but there's been a lot of stuff that's been memory holed over time, and so it's good to see something like that. But they're out of line, and frankly, and I'm a little off topic here. They owe him. I don't know if they have, but they owe him a direct apology. Frankly, I'm tired of the.
Well, look what they did with the the threads
boots
and stuff when it came to flight controls.
But
they went and hit all the threads.
I mean, maybe that sounds harsh, but I want them to issue a direct apology. They have kicked so many good people off the forums for just asking questions, and not even doing anything wrong. I'm absolutely tired of it. Poop mechanics, pets, jetpacks, mag boots. By the way, is anyone impressed by the quality of the texturing on the outside of the ship? I mean, look at the quality of the texture. You have to admit, they did a really solid job. The detailing on it, it's really nice. Anyway, just distracted because I love their art. I love their art. Okay. And so anyway, what they said about that, the whole paint thing, basically choosing your colors, is that what they're talking about with the skins or the paint jobs you currently have, that they would retain special qualities. Maybe there'll be a special texture. For example, the 400i has one that's solid, like almost like chrome. Okay. And yeah, I didn't want the skins for this at all because the orange and black was awesome.
It looks like a contractor like
that's
ship,
awesome.
A construction vehicle.
It says, "Don't shoot me. I'm I'm just a cargo ship that doesn't carry much cargo. Leave me alone." It's not even worth the effort. But yeah, so they said that basically they want that you should be able to hopefully change the main colors, like maybe like imagine if you will, and they don't know how larger ships they want that to extend to. It depends on how difficult the technology is to make it work. Like on capital ships, you may not have much options. But they'll have to see. A lot of this is still in the air. What's weird about this, when you listen to a lot of the conversation from the Star Citizen Live, you get the general impression that a lot of these more complex systems, or things that a lot of non-combat related stuff, has been like they haven't even considered yet how to make it function. Like they've thought about how to make guns shoot faster and how to make bullets fly faster and how to strafe harder for all those years, but they never thought about the fact that the majority of players actually want to do other things than shoot people. It's very interesting to me because it's always seemed like, oh, we don't really know what we're doing with that yet. I'm like, really? What year in development is this?
Especially when it comes to
you don't even have a
Argo.
plan. I mean, you don't even have
Argo.
like anything you can reference this to. You know, it's a little surprising. I'm just putting that out there. There you go. All right, so hopefully that will be the nice bridge between what skins become patterns and textures that are available at certain locations, and that or just in the verse, or at the paint stores, and you could, if you have a skin on for a ship, it's just additional pattern you can apply. Racing. They say they still want to do racing. They're big on racing on the ships, but we talked about this before as well. Unless you get absolutely start getting real throttle controls in the game, we're talking acceleration throttle. Racing is pointless. I've been playing a lot of Forza Horizon 5. You can find some videos. I did a stream yesterday on the channel with it. We had a lot of fun, especially the He-Man Heya van. That was hilarious. I lost it. Lightning Dragon found a van with a big He-Man from that whole Heya. Anyway, I just lost it because that was nuts. But anyway, so when you have racing, like in there, it's about throttle and brake control, and obviously running your gears, and if you want to maybe hold the gear longer to keep the power up to a turn. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of subtlety. There's a lot of decisions have to be made on the fly. But when you do like control of throttle Star Citizen, it's more like how fast am I going? Here's my limiter, and let's just get there as fast as possible. It lacks the subtlety. It lacks the subtlety needed for racing. Yeah, the electro hull skins. That's how it's changing the fly. Yeah, I do have the electro hull skin. You're right. I actually have the mole with the carbon skin, and I don't like the carbon skin. I wish I could undo the carbon skin, to be honest with you. But to each their own, I like the contrast. I think it allows the lighting and stuff to on the whole to look good. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know it. We should have the game sometime by the time 2030, give or take.
They'll want us to all have supercomputers.
Of course, you saw that they made during the IAE this last month. They made over $21 million in pledges. This is going to be the biggest pledging year in Star Citizen's history, which is good since they need it because they keep hiring more people. I'm not touching the controls. The ship's just slowly pointing itself up, like it's slowly rolling back, I think. Anyway, interesting. Yeah, ship's lacking mass, and well, that's the thing. Like to have the idea of the acceleration throttle. And even the fact they talk about cargo having to have mass to make the ship heavier as you fly it. The ships have to... Acceleration throttle is important because it also relates to ship mass. Not only what you're carrying, like empty, if you're empty or you're full, VTOL control, how you fly, like for racing that they want to do, including ground vehicles having acceleration and proper brake and acceleration. Heck, if you want to throw gears onto the ground vehicle, feel free. That'd be cool. I'd like that. Call me weird, but it's not that much to ask to have like basically stuff that you don't want to do that. You want to automatic, fine, but at least get us up to Grand Theft Auto 5 quality when it comes to those kind of control interfaces. Grand Theft Auto 5 can give me an acceleration control and an actual brake. I think Star Citizen can pull it off too. No, I have no problems with the. It's just I like the contrast. I have the carbon, as I said. It's just I wish I had the option when I got the carbon that I could also have the orange. Maybe they changed that, but I don't remember that being the case. I haven't flown the mole in a while. And of course, they want to add additional operator modes. Of course, as we talked about this a little bit before, like for example, the dang it, the word fell in my head. The Saber Raven does it. It basically disables all the ships, the electronic warfare, the
EMP,
EMP, thank you. Why? That's a simple word. Fell on my brain.
electromagnetic pulse.
I'm drinking another sip of coffee. I think I'm running out of brain juice here. Hold on. E equals MC squared. Okay. Okay, so we got the... and they talked about how that they realize there's some canopy issues with the way that scratches on the glass and things like that. You just
Oh my
realizing this
gosh.
now? You're
Oh,
just
do they
realizing
even
how
turn the
many
game
years have we been
on?
telling you? We're like, I can't say. It's
You
like
lift off, and 5 minutes later, it's like I can't see the landing.
yeah,
I
it's like
can't see.
it's a lot of these cockpits. It's like you scratch the glass is covered in scratches. It's like someone went outside, like you stopped at a stoplight. A homeless guy came over, hocked a loogie on your thing,
Yeah.
and started wiping with a dirty newspaper. And it's just
That
like,
he
yeah,
just pulled
that's
out of the dumpster.
yeah. They just pulled it out of the dumpster. That just someone
And he's
just
smearing
threw
who knows how many years of
through
grease
like
and stuff. Oh,
10 pounds of rotten salmon in, so you're getting all that nice
yeah.
smear effect all over the screen. He's like,
Hey.
"Hey, buddy, pay me," you know. It's just, it's like it's terrible, and it's
So
just
the
like,
comment of "Can we get some windshield wipers and washers?" Like, what do you mean, Rain-X?
yeah, and it's
No.
like how many years? Oh, how many years have? Oh, I guess we're still. I guess we gotta turn that back on because we're not quite out of that thing yet. How many years have players been telling the developers, please stop blinding, stop making it impossible for us to see where we're going? This is
Unless
not.
you got lens flare.
This is not new news. I don't know why that they're acting like, we said for the longest time, like, if you want to put scratches and stuff near next to the rails here, like, or next to the edges of the or dirt accumulating in the edges of X where the struts are, fine. As a kind of just as a general feel,
Like burn marks next to the VTOLs.
right? But don't just shove it in the middle of my face. Now this one doesn't appear to be doing that. Maybe the effect isn't even enabled too much. You can see some scratches there in the corner, like before the light is. Let me roll it a little bit here. Hold on a second. I gotta go this way. Okay, you can see some. Yeah, so you can see some of the scratches there to the sun. But a lot of ships are really egregious.
Most of them.
You think the vacuum of space would clean the windshield?
Yeah.
Well, that's only if it was the Windex of space, right? The vacuum of space only does the carpets.
Yeah.
All right, so.
I thought it was
GT level
funny how
controls
they
for
actually
space.
brought up.
Well, yeah. Here, I mean, come on here. I mean, it's pretty bad. I'm so desperate. I want GTA level controls for a space sim. At least.
Didn't they actually bring up
Yeah.
also Red Dwarf when it talks about painting ships going outside your hull and painting words?
I agree, Rattlehead. Maybe we're having a comment here. I do want spool up for these thrusters stuff. I talked about that before. That's how you could have the large ships with cargo. They would have their thrusters are industrial and they have to spool up. 1 second here. I didn't realize I'm not moving here. There we go. My bad.
See, a lot of people don't realize it's like look at the Millennium Falcon. That particular kind of ship was designed as a tug to push and to freight cargo, not just internal but large boxes on the outside of the hull. The reason that ship was so powerful because it didn't have anything strapped to it, so it had all this extra power for thrust.
What
So
is
I
that?
can see having industrial ships have extra boost because they're used to having a full load cargo on them and they need the extra boost. So if they're empty, that'd be the only really bonus a ship like a cargo ship being empty would have an extra amount of thrust, not necessarily maneuverability unless
Hey,
you modified it somehow.
Tyler, when you look to your window on the right, is there like two bubbles in the window, or like a bubbles in the window?
You asked me to get in the remote. I've been in the remote for a while.
Okay. Like look to the window to your right.
Yeah.
Are like bubbles in the window? Like circles?
I see 2 moons for some reason.
Yeah. I got the same thing over here. Someone asked what it is. I maybe it's some sort of reflection from something somewhere. But
Yeah, I see like 2 spheres.
I see more. I see in my front. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what that is.
It looks like
It doesn't
Yeah,
change it doesn't change when I rotate. It's still there.
no, it's still there.
I have no idea.
That's weird.
Yeah, what's it reflecting?
Now here's a sad thing. I look to your window.
Mhm.
Those two,
They're farther apart.
they're farther apart,
I got the same effect. Yeah.
but it's the same circles.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea. I have no idea. But good call though. Yeah, maybe it's supposed to be reflecting this light right here. This one right here. I'm looking at in the center of the screen. That's no moon. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know. But I think that was about everything we had going on here as far as the ship updates. So ship updates, things being changed, things coming in, some of the things they brought up. There were other things. They did like a lightning round towards the end, covering some of the things that are that still might come or whatnot. But what I keep seeing, and this is just my general observation when it comes to the discussions about mechanics in the game constantly, is anything non-combat seems to be utterly like not even whiteboarded yet. They just, their solution for a lot of this is seemed to be, um, let's make a gun or a beam that we put in our hands that we can, shoot our profession. And it's a little, it is a little.
It's like the multi-tool. They're just going to make all
Yeah,
kind
the
of.
multi-tool will do everything. I mean,
It'll heal you. It's going to salvage for you. It's going to be your tractor beam.
it'll book you a
It's
flight. I don't
yeah.
want to do it all.
It's like, oh
Why is it?
well,
Why
you
and
just.
why does the quantum drive keep turning on by itself?
I just saw the ship go backwards for a second, so I have no idea what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't understand. There was, he had 5 or 6 people on that panel, this last panel, and most of it was just kind of
No, that's not
silence.
what it is. It is not that. Um, yeah, that would be the multi-tool would be taking it to a whole new level. The Falcon, you suspect the Falcon would have had auto thruster power systems that would adjust. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine everything would adjust based if you had cargo or not to some degree.
Yeah,
But
unless you
everything,
get some sort of manual override, which I often feel like that should be turned on sometimes to make it do what it did.
Raft wants you to jump. Chris Koss wants you to jump. Oh goodness gravy! All the ships that are doing this though, when you get out of the when you jump, a lot of them will just after you turn it off, you give it a few seconds, it just turns back on. At least the underlying systems. I don't want to talk to you. Shut up. The guy you always introduces is like, "Hey, welcome to." Like, I don't want to talk to you until I tell you I want to land. Okay, I gotta zoom in because this isn't. Oh, come on,
Oh, is he doing
come
that
on,
again
come
where
on,
he says thank
come
you
on.
for landing?
Yeah, I'm trying to contact ATC to land. I'm trying to kick the exact pixel. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yesterday, it was thanking me for landing, and I hadn't even contacted them yet. Like,
Yeah.
what?
It's like
Sorry, you're on the wrong channel.
I finally got a nice smooth curve on this on my sticks. I was working on the other day. I've been having a lot of real janky curves, but now I have a really nice smooth transition. I'm gonna play with it a little bit more, but it's way better than what I was using before. Where's the port? There it is. All right. And I have the curve set on the left stick too, so I get a nicer.
That request has already been granted.
Oh, that's right. I pressed the if that is okay. I made him mad. See, if I hit the space brake, and I've yet to figure this out, my space brake button tells him I want to land again, and then it deletes it. I don't know why. I've never found why that's hotkeyed. It's not hotkeyed to that. It just this is maddening. Hold on. Hold on. Gosh, there we go. Okay, we're good. I wanted to do decouple one, but if I use the space brake now, it's not gonna.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
You give me the same landing bay back? Now you're done throwing your fit? Or did you move me somewhere else? Where did you put me? The hunt for the freaking landing pad. Alright.
They need a better icon than that tiny little.
I got a
Bear
big Benny's
screwdriver.
icon over here is what I got going on.
Yeah.
Come on, where'd you put me now? Come on, where'd you put me now? Okay, back where it was. I hate you. All I want to do is get back here in one piece. If that's okay. Yeah. I can't believe Tyler still has his armor. Yeah. Jinx.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. I was making a comment. He asked. I said I don't like this. I like my yellow stuff or my white stuff. But since all that stuff keeps disappearing, and this gives, I guess, is given to me for some event. It's like I'll just keep wearing my Deadpool armor.
Deadpool armor is a pretty good name for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Shut the engines off. All right. On that note, guys, I think we'll go ahead and wrap everything up. I've got to get ready for work. It's gonna be one of those nights, but they get killed in an elevator. No, whoa, whoa! We got merged there for a second, and I see some flickering there on the lights on the doors and stuff like that. They'll get it patched out. I'll get it patched out. Go ahead and get off the elevator. Okay. Oh. What do I mean exit ship? I'm already exit ship. Lower deck. No, let me out. What's going on? No, you bastard! You can't. There's nothing blocking me, but it will let me out.
You can't stop the signal.
Exit ship. No, let me out.
Negative.
I'm being eaten.
You are now part of the collective.
There's just a big open air. Come on, let me out. Oh, there we go.
Exterminate.
Okay, what do I have to do? Okay, that's nuts. All right, hold on. I want to do this.
It wants you to stay near the elevator there.
That should also be return elevator if it's the call elevator button. If it's already down, it should be return. It's just press the button. Should just change state of elevator. I can't see it. Okay, no, I'm leaving it right. I'm not gonna get killed by the elevator. I'm not gonna get killed by an elevator. I refuse. I refuse. That would be my fate.
I just want to know, does anyone notice this thing looks like a raft? Because I don't see where the name came from.
It's an acronym. It's not, honestly, it's not the best name of a ship ever.
No.
I
What
mean,
do you got? I got an Argo Raft.
Yeah.
So you got a rubber raft that goes down the water.
And like all things flight related, I'm using my raft. I'm upstream and I don't have a paddle.
Mm.
And anyway, all right, guys. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. We'll see you on the Wednesday hangout. I haven't done Tuesday hangouts, but Wednesday and then Thursday, of course, is the sucking at Fallout 1. I need to do some research and figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong again. That seems to be my theme recently.
Find the water chip.
I know that, but there's all the missions are like kicking my face in. And then of course the Friday hangout. So probably playing some more Forza on Wednesday because I'm having a lot of fun with that game. And the Wednesday ones are more often just third party, not
Just
Star
wait.
Citizen
All
games.
out. You see it starts soon.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But I shared some of my tunes with one of my tunes for my cars with Tyler and Lightning last night, and it seemed to work out pretty well. So anyway, all right. Well, guys, see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I gotta get ready for work because got bills to pay. Later. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.